Hi, guys. Welcome to our special edition of Facebook Live Interview Edition. Just getting a couple last minute things set up and getting used to the little delay. So the point of tonight is really to test out a few different things. We're trying out, obviously, a new software with Facebook Live, so it's a little bit different. So I ask for your patience as we're doing this. I need to get it up on my screen so that I can see it and hopefully see your comments. Let's see. But so the plan with this is to incorporate this as a regular feature. We plan on doing a few different interviews throughout the year. We'll probably do like once a month or so, bring in a sweeper, and there we go. Now I can see things. Bring in a sweeper and talk to them, ask them about their great wins, have them share some stories with you. I personally always find these things extremely motivational. I love hearing the good win stories. Now, I will say today's going to be a little bit different. So I kind of teased you and said it's going to be a mystery guest. And some of you guys had guessed and nobody was correct. So I thought tonight would be a little bit different. And we're going to try this because, like I said, we're going to see how this works. But I'm going to bring our mystery guest here in a second. And I have a few questions for them. And then we'll kind of turn it over to you guys, let you guys ask questions. And trying to figure out the best way to kind of see these questions. So hopefully that piece of it works. I'm still trying to figure out some of this and how it's going to all mesh together. So, but without further ado, let me bring in our guest for tonight. Well, some of you guys were right because it is Roscoe, but it's also Lee. So Lee is where we are in the same house. She's in another room so that we could try and do these dual virtual screens and see how it would work. So I appreciate you guys having some patience with us on it. But one question I always get is, what does Lee think about all this, and what does she think about sweepstakes, and does she enter, and what does she win, and what does she like? So I thought it'd be kind of fun to ask her some questions, let you guys ask her some questions, because I know that a lot of you come from either homes or relationships where one of you are very involved in this hobby and the other person wants nothing to do with it. So I will say Lee's kind of in the middle. Over the years, she's probably been my biggest supporter as far as iWIN and getting iWIN together. But some of these questions that I have for her, I have to admit, I'm kind of curious to hear the answers to myself, because I've never personally asked her. So we'll see how that goes. And like I said, I'll do my best with trying to pick some questions at the end. The way the software works with that, I'm still trying to figure out the perfect way to do that. But Lee, welcome.
Hello. Hi, everybody. Everybody is so great. You guys are awesome. Everyone's saying hi. Thank you so much and making me feel welcome. I was a little nervous about this whole thing, so thank you.
Yes, I begged and pleaded for her to do this. So I would normally have to do laundry and stuff for the next week, but she hasn't let me touch the laundry. No. So Lee, one of the questions that people ask me is, obviously we've been together for 14, 15 years now.
Good job getting that right.
When did you realize that this was this was like kind of a thing, part of your life, because when I first met Lee, I've always entered, but I didn't enter religiously like I do now. iWIN didn't exist. So when did you kind of realize that this wasn't really going anywhere? Not with me, Sweepstakes.
Right. So, I vividly remember the first time where I was like, there is something to this, and he's crazy. Right. So I was in a few years ago, actually a long time ago now, I was a trainer and I was working with one of my clients, and one of my coworkers ran over to me and she's like, oh my gosh, Tom keeps calling the phone. Like, he said it's an emergency and he needs to talk to you. And I was like, oh my gosh, what is going on? So I asked my client, I'm like, I'm so sorry. Like, he never calls, whatnot. And I pick up the phone and I'm like, Tom, is everything okay? And he goes, we just won a trip to go on the Bud Light cruise next weekend. Can you go? Can we go? Can we cancel? And when he said, can you cancel? What he was referring to is that we were getting married that weekend. And the following weekend, we were supposed to be going to California for a honeymoon. So he wanted to cancel that and go on the Bud Light cruise. And I was like, this is not an emergency. Like, what are you doing? And I went back and ironically, my client who I was working with at the time was also who was marrying us. So he was a little understanding and just laughed. And we laughed about this whole story after the wedding and everything. And sure enough, we did go on the Bud Light cruise for our honeymoon.
In fairness, it wasn't our true honeymoon. So we were going to San Diego for a few days because our real honeymoon was Africa, and we went a few months later to Africa. But we did go on the Bud Light cruise, and Bud Light was fantastic with us. They found out it was our actual honeymoon weekend. They put us in a suite. For those who had been on those early Bud Light cruise, like, it was really strict on when you could fly home. They were like, when do you want to come down? If you want to come down early, stay late, that's fine. We'll fly you whenever you want. So we did. We flew down a day early and we stayed an extra day. Now, we did pay for those nights ourselves, but the flights and everything were them. So, but yeah, that was kind of the start of it. I wasn't even really a sweeper at that point. I wasn't somebody who entered every single day. So it's no secret that we've won a lot of trips, and you've been on a lot of trips with me. You've even went on some of your trips on your own. Everyone asks me always what my favorite trip win is. So what is your favorite trip that either you've won or we've won and we've went on, together, or that you went on without me?
Gosh, that's a hard one. Gosh, there's been, I think what I've always loved the most about this is it's not always about it's probably gonna sound cliche, but it's not always around about the destination, but it's really about the experience for me. So, we've won a lot of trips. Like, one that pops into my mind right away was we had won, I think it was through Mike's Hard Lemonade, and it was with Steve Arpin to watch him race. And, at first when you win, at least for me, I'm not a huge race fan. And I was like, oh, I don't know if I'm going to like this, but it ended up being one of those memories that I'll never forget. His family was so open and so great and took us around the track and let us in their, in their RV, and we hung out with them all weekend. And it was just one of those experiences that money could never buy. Well, maybe money can buy, but not my kind of money. Right. So money it couldn't buy that experience. And you couldn't have played that out. You couldn't have said, this is the trip you're winning. It just organically happened, and it was so amazing. So it's those types of experiences that have really been my favorite. Another one that always comes to mind is the Super Bowl trip that was in New Orleans. We got to experience some amazing parties where again, like money just can't buy a ticket to these things. And we would never be able to experience that without the opportunity of winning something like that. So I think those are always my favorite, the experiences themselves, not necessarily the destination of where we're going.
So the interesting thing is the Super Bowl one she's referring to, we actually didn't go to the game. We had won a trip to go to New Orleans for Super Bowl week, but not tickets to the game. Now they sent us to everything and anything. I mean, like we had breakfast with Michael Strahan. We went to the DirecTV party, and that was the private concert with Justin Timberlake for like 2,000 people, when at the time he really wasn't doing any concerts at all. It was amazing. It was hosted by Mark Cuban. We went to the Celebrity Beach Bowl. We went to the Rolling Stones part. I mean, you name it. Like we couldn't even keep up, because we'd go from like one party would start at like 7 o'clock and go to midnight. And then that party would start midnight and go to like 4 a.m. And the whole town was just crazy. Like we stayed right in the French Quarter. And I remember the first night, and it was, who was playing? Baltimore, San Francisco was playing. That was the year the power went out at the Super Bowl. And all their fans were outside our hotel room, and it was like 6 a.m., 6:30. And Lee's like, these people are just crazy. They do this 24/7. I'm like, yeah, they're not getting up. They're just going home now.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Let's see. What's the favorite? So that's your favorite trip, but what about an item? Do you have like something, some kind of item that you or I have won that you actually use and you really kind of constitute as a favorite?
Yeah. So I think the one thing that we won that comes right to mind is the paddleboard. I thought that was the coolest thing. For those of you who don't know me, I love being on the water. Anytime I'm on the water, I am in my happiest. So we have had kayaks. I grew up on a lake. Tom and I have kayaked living in Florida. It's been fantastic. So a paddleboard was always one of those things that like I would love to have, but not going to spend the money to have a paddleboard. So when we won one, and we won like an amazing one, it was pretty cool. So that was probably my favorite item, at least that I can think of. I'm sure there's a gazillion more, but that one definitely sticks out.
What, do you remember something that you specifically won? Like, so a lot of people don't know, like a lot of couples, like, maybe the husband enters for the wife or the wife enters for the husband. Lee actually enters for certain specific things. Now it may be because I beg or tell her to do it. But there are some things that she will see on Facebook or she will see in a store. And if she'll either send it to me, or a lot of times she will actually enter it. So maybe tell us about something like that you entered, that you were really proud of yourself and won. Like I think of one in my head right away that you didn't even tell me till after the fact.
Huh. I wish I could remember which one that was. Can you give me a guess? Because now I really want to know which one that was.
It was Vegas.
What?
It was Vegas. It was your trip to Vegas that you did all by yourself.
The one I did all by myself.
For the conference.
Yeah, that one was awesome. That was pretty cool. It was actually for one of my fitness conventions. So I go to a ton of health and wellness and sport conventions, and there was one out in Vegas. And at the time, the company I was working for, we went on like a rotation, and it wasn't my year to go, but I really, really wanted to go. So I was like, let me see if there's a contest for it. Like, can I somehow get in? And sure enough, there was one. I was so excited. I remember coming home and telling Tom, I'm like, oh my gosh, I found this contest and no one's going to enter and it's going to be amazing. And sure enough, I won full ride to go. So it was that was pretty cool. Yeah,
you did.
And I won on that trip too in Vegas, right? Is that where I found like my one slot machine?
Yes, that is.
Yeah, so. I was pretty excited about that too.
So one of the questions that popped up that I have,
I won like $25, just to put it in perspective here, people.
One of the questions that popped up that I thought I'd ask you, because
Oh
I
boy.
find it very funny, was, do you ever enter mail-ins?
Okay, like let's be honest here. I don't even get our mail. I don't know how to mail things. Tom's in charge of that. Like if Tom's gone for a weekend or a week, he has to tell me, one, to get our mail, and two, to open our mail. Like I am the worst. I have always been the worst. So no, I do not do mail-ins, but I don't do anything when it comes to the mail, to be totally honest with you. My dad used to yell at me like forever ago when I would have, like, he'd help me with my taxes, and I'd be like, oh yeah, I have all these envelopes, and he's like, why didn't you open these? So yeah, I'm really bad with that. So that's probably never going to happen.
Yeah, when I'm out of town for a while and I have to like call to see like what comes in the mail. So, but nowadays you get like the preview. She doesn't even know this, but you get the preview in your email that shows you everything you're getting every day.
Oh, so I don't have to open the mail when you're gone anymore then.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Good to know.
Yeah, I shouldn't have said that. So you've been to 2 conventions. So again, this is not Lee's focus. So, she decided to come to Orlando. I had actually just had surgery on my knee, right? I had my meniscus surgery. Is that what I did? So it was a big hotel for those who went, and you had to really move around a lot. And so, I knew it was going to be busy. There were a ton of people. So she decided to come to Orlando, and then she also did go on the cruise a couple of years ago. But she really didn't. She had never been around anything like a lot of you guys have, where like she hasn't come to a meeting. She doesn't come to any of these mini conventions. So tell us about your first convention, or what your impression was when you went to your first convention. Maybe this will give some people's spouses, or significant others who don't really do much in sweepstakes, see if they would want to come or not come, or any info you might want to share.
Yeah. Okay. So, gosh, my first convention. So obviously, like in my business world, I've gone to tons of conventions, and again, I'm in fitness and wellness and sports, so I'm familiar with all of those, and typically the people who are going to be there, and they're my people, and so I'm used to like big conventions, lots of people. So when Tom asked me about coming to the convention, I was super nervous because I enter things that Tom tells me to enter, but I don't enter sweepstakes all day. It's not my like main focus, my main hobby. So I was like, what am I going to talk to these people about? Like everyone's going to be asking me questions. I'm not going to have answers. So I was super nervous going in, and when we first walked in, super overwhelmed because I saw all of these people, and they were all like Tom. I was like, oh my gosh, there's so many of them. But it ended up being a great experience. I've met so many great people through this. So in the end, it was all good, and I met people, and I felt comfortable, and everybody was so welcoming and so nice. So it was good, but it was definitely overwhelming the first time, and the second time too.
Well, now you've met a few of these people, and the interesting thing is, there's been 2 really big group trips that we've been on in the last couple of years. Which one was the most recent Bud Light cruise, and then we also did the Busch 500 to 500, and a lot of the same people won both of those. So we've, you've made your favorites and your friends now. So this topic comes up, and I talk about this at conventions often, because a lot of times I'll teach a class on skill contests. So videos and photographs and all that stuff. And Lee is usually sometimes maybe my videographer / photo person. If I've been nice. So it's probably the most annoyed you get with Sweepstakes is when we have to do one of these videos. I mean, to the point,
Hands down.
I bought a 6-pack of beer today that I plan on using for a photo, and she went to grab one. This is like literally just an hour ago at dinner, and she went to grab one. I said, "Those are for a photo shoot." I was like, "Well, you can have one. I need to have them for a photo shoot." So, but why don't you share like maybe one of those experiences, or maybe like one of the most annoying things I've had you help me with, and how that played out?
Is it like how long do I have?
But we're trying to keep the whole show like an hour.
Okay.
So maybe we'll do like, part 2 another time.
Okay.
If
so to
we
start
have
with
you
like
back.
the ones that just come to mind right away.
Fair enough.
Okay. So definitely the videos, because Tom always says, it's just going to be 5 minutes. It's just going to be 5 minutes. And an hour later, we have done like 700 retakes. I'm like so cranky because we haven't eaten dinner yet. He said it was going to be 5 minutes. So those drive me insane. A photo or like a video is never, ever, ever 5 minutes of our time, right? So videos drive me crazy. The other thing that makes me super crazy is when Tom hides it from me that we're going to go do something to enter a contest, right? So like, hey, you want to go to dinner? Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, let's go to dinner tonight, right? And all of a sudden we're stopping at like AutoZone or 7-Eleven to take pictures of things. And, oh, I just need you to run in the store real quick and take a picture with peanuts. Or I just need you to run in the store real quick and take a picture with, there should be a billboard. And if there's not a stand-up guy in AutoZone, like ask the manager or whatever if they have it somewhere. And it drives me crazy. So those, I mean, literally I could go on and on. And can I mention when we first moved here, what you made me do?
Yeah, give me a second. I'm sure none of you guys can relate to this. This is like just us.
It is. It's just, I'm sure.
But go ahead. I know which one. And I will preface this with, I won the trip, and she will admit it was one of the best, most amazing trips that we went on. And I'll tell you a little bit about the trip afterward, but
yeah.
Well, you know what? I'll start. I'll give the background. The background was DraftKings was new. And I had saw that they were going to be doing this contest to win a trip to their kickoff event. And each day was a different contest with a different winner. And for that day, you had to do a photo of like why you should be in Miami or why you should go. And they were going to pick the 2 best by the end of the day. And then the 2 best were going to be voted on overnight, and most votes gets the trip. So right before bed, Lee's going to bed, of course, the night before I need to do this. And she has to leave for work early in the morning. So I said, do me a favor, wake me up before you go. I need to do this photo in the morning. I have to have this done for that day.
It will take 5 minutes.
Something like that. So go on. I will let you pick up from there.
So I'm getting ready for work. Mind you, we have just moved into this neighborhood, like literally just moved in. I am going to work, which I'm just starting. I'm like brand new still at work. And, Tom in his 5 minutes, right? So I'm like, oh my gosh. All right, fine. So and he was like, just right before you leave, just wake me up right before you leave. It'll only take 5 minutes. So I wake him up. I said, I'm leaving in 5 minutes. What do you need to do? He comes out with props out the wazoo. He has a hat. I don't even remember. There was a beach ball. There was a suitcase. Oh, here, can you make this sign for me real quick? And he looks like a crazy person. And we have to go to the end of our driveway, and I'm taking all of these pictures. Meanwhile, like the school bus is going by, all of our new neighbors are outside. And here we are. This is our first impression in our new neighborhood of my crazy husband with a suitcase, a big hat, a beach ball, a sign that says bound for Miami to it. Oh, I was so mad at him that day.
Don't forget the surfboard. That we had won. We had won the surfboard.
It was everything. It was crazy. It was like, think of the most lunatic person standing at the end of your driveway. That was my husband. Yes, that was.
And it was also like 6 a.m. Like some of you guys have seen that photo that's won, and the street lights are still on.
It was crazy. It was crazy.
So, but you went to work then and actually showed my photo to people you've only worked with a few months now at this point.
Right, because they were asking me why I was crabby.
But it also happened to be the first day of school, and everyone was showing their first day of school photos.
Yep.
And that's what you got to take.
That's what I was doing. So everyone was, frazzled about their kids getting on the school bus and their first day of school. And here's all these pictures. And I was like, you want to see what I was doing this morning?
So, but we did win, and we went to Miami, and it was first class all weekend. Anything you wanted from breakfast. It started at like 7 a.m. to 2 a.m. every single day, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. They had games and food and you name it. Everything was top shelf. It was a phenomenal weekend.
It was so amazing. Yeah, that was an amazing, again, one of those experiences that money can't buy. It was so cool.
Yeah, we were treated very, very well. So somebody asked if you'll do the lives, the 1 o'clock live updates, because they like you better than me. So thanks, Roy. I appreciate that. So
thanks, Roy.
that was Roy. Roy is someone you've met. So we actually met Roy we've met him just once for dinner. I've met him more than once. I don't know how many times you've met him.
I don't know.
What do you have anything unique or interesting that like you've seen show up at the house that you're just like, wow, this is really interesting or unique?
I don't know. I feel like, again, I feel like that while we are fortunate enough and lucky enough to win some amazing prizes, there's a lot of stuff that shows up that I really just don't understand why we keep them. Actually, you know what? It wasn't unique, but I was gonna throw you and it out the house, was that stupid log that you just won like 6 months ago or whatever. That thing was awful. What was it? It was like a log you won. It smelled like fried chicken. I was like, I walked in the house, I'm like, what is that? And then it literally stunk up our entire house. So then he put it outside. I don't know why, like we were saving it or something. So he put it outside, and I was like worried like wild animals were gonna like come and attack our backyard. It was that thing was awful. That was bad. It was unique.
That was definitely unique. So,
yeah.
So somebody asked if you are a Buckeye.
Yeah. OH.
Yes, we are both from Ohio.
Don't tell Tom I'm drinking one of the beers. He can't do anything because we're in separate rooms.
Who does Roscoe like more? That's a pretty good argument. So
no, that's easy. As soon as I was working remote, Tom got so upset because Roscoe came and he stays with me now all day long. So I think Tom's a little hurt by that.
All right, I will try and read some of these questions. So if you guys want to fire up some questions, I'm going to try and see if I can read them on my phone. Can you read them on your phone or not really?
I can.
Like, can you scroll and see them?
Yeah.
On your phone?
Yes.
Okay. Well, see if you see something and why I set mine up.
Let's see. Kim Wright, has there been any picture or time when you just said, no, Tom, I'm not helping with that or doing that? I am absolutely sure that happens quite regularly. Is there one that you can remember, Tom? Like that you were like so mad that I wouldn't do it?
Okay, I can scroll now, I think.
Are you not listening?
Yeah, I'm listening. What I'm trying to think of.
I typically end up doing them, but I gotta be honest, like sometimes I pout about it. So
Yeah, I don't know if anyone that. Someone asked if we're doing Christmas in July again. There is a chance. Do our neighbors know about the hobby? So our one neighbor, I actually cooked her dinner tonight. She's an older lady who lives next door to us, and she knows about the hobby because she gets our mail regularly. She gets our mail more often than Lee probably gets our mail.
true story.
So and I always feel horrible because we'll be out of town somewhere and I'll be like, oh, Darlene, we have like 17 packages coming. Can you get them for us? And the time the Reese's showed up, like the year's supply, we were going to be out of town that day. And so I had to have her get these big, huge boxes of Reese's, which they came in coolers with dry ice and everything, and take them to her house. So I was like, you can have as many as you want. So she does benefit from it. Like, you know, we've won chips from a year. I'll give her stuff like that. But she's great. Are they now subscribers? I don't know. I don't think we have any like immediate neighbors that subscribe. Like I know,
but a lot of my work people end up subscribing because even like my previous, like if you think about not necessarily our neighbors, but like my work family, you know, because they see it, right? Because they're like, well, where are you going this weekend? You know, we're traveling. So we have quite a few of my work family that have become subscribers, and one of my old previous executive directors has won quite a lot through iWIN. So
yeah, actually, his picture's been up, but he had never entered a sweepstakes, and he was the one who won the Bud Light Flyaway, where he got to take a private plane to any college football game with him and 3 buddies. And I mean, another one of those once in a lifetime things. Marlene asks, did you ever enter a sweepstakes before you met me?
No.
Never? Nothing?
I don't think so. I mean, not that I can remember. I probably was like one of those like, oh, I'll put my name in. I'm not going to win anything.
What are you tired of winning? Like what shows up here that you're just like, oh, another one of those?
Coolers?
Yeah, I knew that's what you were going to say.
We have so many coolers.
There's a lot of coolers.
So many. And grills, like those, like the
yeah, we've won a lot of
grills, right? We've won so many of those. Yeah.
Yeah, I bet we've won, I bet at least 20, 25 grills, at least.
Yeah.
And more coolers than that. I actually have one person who takes the coolers and they use them as storage. They store all their stuff instead of like getting the storage bins. They just use coolers. So, let's see. Let's find some more questions. Did Lee know about this hobby before meeting you? No. In fairness,
absolutely not.
In fairness, I really didn't even know about it. I mean, I had always entered things all my life, and then it became a much more bigger part of my life over time. Did she know what a sweeper was? No.
But I do claim the fame on the website.
Do you enter surveys on receipts?
You know, I have.
Waste of time.
Yeah.
She's got to read iWIN. There's always an alternate method. Don't waste your time. Let's see. You know what? This is a good question. Because I don't know the answer for sure. Have I ever made you build something for a contest?
Build something.
Yeah, like I'm trying to think if you ever had to like build anything.
I don't think I've had to, I'll think about it, but I don't think I've had to build anything. I know you've made me like do a lot of like prop setup or like, set up the scene for the picture and all
Yeah,
that.
I don't
But
think I ain't building the things yet.
No.
Somebody said they'd love to win a Yeti. So we've won a lot of Yeti products, and I'm a big fan of the Yeti products, but we've never won a hard-sided cooler from Yeti. And like that's like one of my kryptonites. Like people ask me at conventions, are like, "Have you won one yet?" Because there's a lot of them that are given away. And I will tell you, I am 100% keeping it when I do. I haven't been able to. So, but their other products are phenomenal. Here, sitting on my desk, I have one of the Coolsters. I put cans in it all the time. Their cups, I use their cups all the time. What is on your wish list? That was actually one of my questions, but somebody else asked it. Jennifer asked me, what is something you want to win, or what's a trip you want to win?
Yeah. So something totally random that just came into my head was that I would love to win an appointment soon with my hairdresser, because that's impossible right now. But as far as like actually winning something, I would love to win like a backyard makeover. Like, like we've been talking about, pools and hot tubs, and we live in Florida and all of that, but we're just not willing to break down and spend the money. It's crazy. So if we were forced to do it, that'd be awesome. So I'd love that. And as far as a trip, like a trip around the world, right? Like that would be amazing to have a trip around the world for sure. So, but any travel trip, I love traveling, and I love being able to share that with Tom. And then, there's also been opportunities for us to be able to share that with friends and family, which is always super special to me for sure.
Yeah. And that goes back to, like some of you guys have commented about like the excess coolers and grills and stuff. We've taken care of a lot of family members and gifts and stuff, but we donate that stuff. Like a lot of times, like schools, or like there's I always call it the wrong place. The Restart Your Life program.
Mm-hmm.
The
we
place.
When they did like the fill the school buses and stuff, and we have won like a ton of backpacks, and we took those there and stuff like that. And like at Christmas time, we always donate a lot of some of those things. So definitely give back.
Yeah,
sure.
I always like those like charity auctions where you put like together like a basket or something, and it's like for the community or for the school or whatever. So
yeah.
Let's see. What's a quirky little win that you really like that you won, or like something that like you really always try to win? I know what it is, and that they asked both of us. Well, all right, if there's something out there right now, and you found a contest for this company, you're entering it, hands down. I know you will.
Like, I don't know, like Sephora?
You're on the right.
Dunkin'.
Yes, yeah. That's it.
Love Dunkin'. So here's the thing with Dunkin', right? So Dunkin Donuts, I am not a huge coffee drinker, but I like the food drinks, like the lattes with caramel in it and stuff like that, right? So it was becoming a problem, right? Because I was like, ooh, I'll just go get one of those before work, right? And it's like expensive. So I had made a pact with myself that I cannot purchase Dunkin Donuts unless I have a gift card loaded, and I have to win the gift card. So I can't like buy the gift card and load my DD perks, right? Like I have to win it. So right now I'm rationing because my balance is pretty low right now. But yeah, that's definitely one that I will win, and I get so mad when I don't win. And then Tom's like, I won $5. which I take, of course, but I still want to win it, right? Like I should win it because I go to Dunkin Donuts. Yeah.
But I give you all the ones I win.
As you should.
So somebody asked me the same question. A quirky little win, like something I love. I love Disney gift cards. Like I've been trying to max out winning on that current contest, because I love going to Disney and I hate paying like $72 for a pretzel. So if I have a gift card, I don't feel as bad. This is a good question. I like this one. So Amber asked you, when did you see me the most excited about a win?
Oh, World Cup.
Oh, all right.
Hands down. Hands
Makes
down.
sense. I mean, yeah, the World Cup was like crazy.
Tom, I don't know. To be honest, sometimes you get super excited about things that you don't know what the prize is. So I don't pay attention because I'm like, okay, Tom, like, can we talk about where you thought I was getting like an entire office makeover and I ended up getting like a keyboard? So it's hard because
that was like 3 weeks ago.
Or like
I
something.
thought it was a bigger prize.
Something's coming in the mail. It weighs X amount of weight. Like, what do you think it is? Do you have something coming in the mail? Like Tom gets very, very excited about everything. But the World Cup, hands down, it was amazing for so many reasons, right? So many, and I'm sure, I'm sure it's the one that he talks about like the most, but so many games he got to go to, so many experiences that he got to share with friends and family. So it wasn't just like a one time we're going to go. He got to take his best friend that he's been, friends with since they were 5. They played soccer together. He took him to Brazil. And I think you just got to share that with so many people and so many games that I think that just has to be one that you were just continued to be so excited about after you won it.
Someone asked, are there any prize or sweeps that you do not enter for? I mean, speaking for Lee, like Lee doesn't enter probably 10 things a day, 15 things a day. For myself, I mean, there's a lot of certain places I don't want to travel. Like I know a lot of people emailed me. They just got notified they won a prize pack that was like a hat and a shirt and a koozie, and there were a lot of winners. And somebody said, "Oh, you didn't enter it," and I said, "No, I just there's certain things that you start to get enough of that you just don't like. If it's not something that I think I can use or I can gift, it's really not for me. Now, granted, there are times, just like everyone else, where you're trying to win maybe that trip, and you end up with the koozie or something totally different. Let's see.
Roy, you are so funny.
Is Roy harassing you?
Yes.
Rachel and Mark say hello. Rachel was on watching.
Hey.
So we've been on a lot of trips with them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So let's see what we have. Oh, where would you suggest donating extra backpacks with beer logos? Because you can't get them to schools.
Probably not fill the school bus.
Yeah, a lot of places like we have a place in town, and I keep calling it like First Start, but what's it called?
I know. I know exactly what you're talking about.
But it's where like they help like people kind of like
beginnings. It's new beginnings.
New beginnings. First Start, new beginnings.
It's a local.
But that's a place that's where we try and donate even just stuff that we didn't win. We start there because it's for it's for people like, and the money and everything goes to like people restarting their lives.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have a lot of people like that with Starbucks.
Mm.
Let's see. Somebody said that I was most disappointed because a friend won the World Cup trip and I didn't get to go.
What?
So somebody who had been on that World Cup trip that everyone won last year that I didn't get to go to.
Oh, gotcha.
Yes, I was very jealous. So somebody just asked, or somebody asked, am I ever jealous when Lee wins? So I'll often admit I get jealous when other people win. Am I mad? Absolutely not. Like I am never going to be one of those people who call the sponsor, be like, this person wins all the time, they shouldn't win. And I see people like that and I just don't get it. I don't understand it. So will I be jealous? Will I be jealous if you won the Snickers on the field promotion and you get to run on field? Absolutely. I'd love to do that. But in the same aspect, I'm totally happy for you. I want to hear the story. I want to hear about it because it's going to motivate me. Am I jealous of anything, Lee? It's kind of the same thing. No, in fact, there's a lot of things that maybe I don't have interest in that I will tell her to specifically enter for, knowing full well that the one thing both of us do really well, and some people I think find it weird is, we will go on trips without each other because we know the other person won't appreciate or totally enjoy it. Now, Grant, sometimes we want to go just because the experience and the experience together, but Lee's already admitted she's not a huge racing fan. You guys have known I have won a lot of racing trips and she's been on a lot of them with me. But some of them, I'll take somebody who really appreciates that or really enjoys it. In the same way, I'm not a big concert, country music fan type like that, but she loves that atmosphere. So, a lot of times I will tell her to enter. The one that comes to my mind is the Sam Adams trip, which was awesome. Which was Beer Fest.
Yeah.
And, it was the last trip that I was ever notified by mail. Nobody called, nobody emailed. They sent a regular envelope to Lee because Lee was actually the one who won it. They picked 2 winners per state. We had both entered it. Now, if I won it, absolutely, I would have went and I would have took her with me. But you won it.
Thanks for that.
You're welcome. I wanted you to feel special. But she won it. And, she did. She said, hey, do you want to go with me? And I said, no. I said, I know that your sister and you would love to do this experience together. And so they did that. They went to Denver. That was a while ago. That was a long time ago.
It was so much fun. Yeah, it was awesome. That was a cool win.
Somebody mentioned some charities will take the beer backpack donations because they'll use them for golf tournaments or other things. So
yeah.
Let's see. Let me see if we got some more questions. We'll take a few more questions tonight. Let you guys go enjoy your day. Again, thanks for tuning in. I'd love to get some feedback on these. I do want to say we do have one of these scheduled again. So I wanted to test out some things with this, but Lee's not going to be here next time, which means audience attendance is down. If I don't have Roscoe or Lee, I'm screwed. But we're going to do one of these on Wednesday. What is the date? Wednesday, the 27th of May. So not next Wednesday, but the Wednesday after. We're going to do one with Jason Block. And for those who have never met Jason, Jason will be very entertaining. He has been, not only is he a sweeper, so he's won a bunch of stuff we can talk about, but he's actually been on 7 game shows, winning almost $250,000 in prizes. He's going to talk about the game shows. We're going to do just a bunch of different things. I think you'll really enjoy it. So I forget what time we said. I think we set 8:00 for 2 weeks from now, but I'll be posting it and I'll be talking about that. Let's see. So let's take a few more questions.
I love that people call out your MC Hammer alarm. That's funny.
Did it go off?
No,
It didn't
because
go off.
it's 8:20.
Yep. Yeah, it goes off 9 o'clock. Just remind me to take my medicine.
I love it.
Thank you. Um, let's see. So somebody asked about like cash options on trip. If we ever like wanted one of us wanted the trip, one of us wanted the cash option. So the crazy thing is so we've now won 71, 72 trips, something like that. Of all those trips, we've been offered a cash option once. There was one time that a cash option was offered instead of the trip. And that was just a month or two ago, only because of it was a cruise. And we took the cash option, but that's the only time it's ever even been offered. So, you know, for us, it's about the trips and the experiences.
I'll go grab Roscoe real quick. People are asking for us. Hold on.
All right. And we'll take a couple last second. Yeah, but for some of you guys who haven't known Jason or don't know Jason, spoke in Las Vegas at the national convention, and I actually had to follow him, and he killed it. So it's been something I've been working on. The thing is, Facebook changes their software and what you're allowed and what you're not constantly. So up until recently, you couldn't really do these 2-person interview types without paying to have like totally different software. So, so we're just kind of playing with it today and kind of just testing a few things out so we can do these in the future. So, so let's take a couple last questions and then we'll let you guys out of here. But I do plan on doing these. If you know someone you want to hear, tell them to get a hold of me. Tell them to reach out to me. I mean, I have my short list of people I'd like, but not everyone, not everyone wants to do these. So I love the fact that all the hearts and people go crazy when Roscoe appears. Was Jason on Jeopardy? Yes, Jason, I believe, don't quote me on this because I believe he was on, maybe he wasn't on Jeopardy. I can't remember. I know he was on Wheel of Fortune and I know he was on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. So I can't remember Jeopardy though. So now you guys are all commenting on Roscoe.
He's very tired. It's had a very rough day.
So somebody commented, that when their husband won the Super Bowl, she knew that she wasn't going to appreciate it as much as her father was, so she sent her father. So let's see. Any last questions? Well, glad you guys like this. Do I use software to enter sweeps? No. I mean, I use a form filler, if you want to call that software. I mean, I talk about that regularly. But I mean, there's Google Chrome, or I'm sorry, Google Fill or Chrome Autofill. Any kind of form filler all kind of works the same way. But yeah, I'd highly recommend those if you're entering. Let's see, make sure I didn't miss anything. Otherwise, I will let you guys go. Lee, is there anything else you want to say?
No, thank you guys for being so awesome and kind and great questions. So I appreciate you letting me be a part of your Friday evening.
Well, thank you for doing this with me. I appreciate it. I will wrap it up. So we are going to say goodbye to Lee. Again, thanks for doing this. All right. So yeah, so I'm glad you guys enjoyed that. Just something different we wanted to try. I really hope you enjoyed it. I thought you'd like to hear maybe the other half and the other side of sweepstakes, because I know a lot of you guys, are married, have a significant other, somebody in the mix that may not be totally on board or involved with sweepstakes, that's kind of Lee. But again, she'll enter for specific things here and there. It's probably become more over the years. So, but thanks you guys all for joining me. A ton of people on tonight. I really appreciate it. I will talk to you guys next week. We are working still on the site. If you have any issues at all, just email me and I will help you with them. So we're working through some things, but hopefully they don't affect you too much, if at all. I will put up the next iWIN live interview, which is going to be, again, Jason Block on Wednesday, May 27th. I hope to see all you there. Hopefully it's as well attended and as well taken. I promise you he will be very interesting as well. Have a great night. I will talk to you all soon.